morning, welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I guess it's not morning, it's afternoon, so I should get that right. My name's Todd Copeland, and I'm the General Manager of Community Futures Middlesex, the Business Help Center. Our topic this afternoon is part one of a two-part series that Community Futures Middlesex will be hosting this month with Barb Crowhurst. She's the CEO of Retail Makeover, understanding your customers through survey feedback. Before we get rolling, just a couple of brief words about Community Futures Middlesex. So funded and backed by FedDev Ontario, Community Futures Middlesex is passionate about helping entrepreneurs grow and succeed to strengthen our community. We offer loans, planning, and advisory services, workshops like today, and much more. We exist to support entrepreneurs in Middlesex County. We understand our communities and our real culture and values. These insights will allow us to view our clients through a different lens and make loan decisions right here at home. We're available to support you through the full life cycle of your business. 2020-2021 has proven to be a transformational year for us as well as an organization. It's highlighted by the physical relocation of our offices to Main Street at Ilderton in April of 2020, launch of our new website at the end of July 2020, and an increased dependency on the use of technology, leveraging our digital and social media presence, utilizing virtual collaboration tools and survey tools, which we're here to learn a little bit more about today. But I guess the point being is for us, as well as most businesses and clients that we serve, the pandemic's radically changed the way that we conduct business, and will likely continue to do so in the future. Barbara Crowhurst is the CEO of Retail Makeover. Barb is a trusted global retail business coach with extensive experience sharing her expertise and knowledge directly with small to large corporate clients, and as a speaker at local, regional, provincial, national, and international meetings and events. Retail Makeover is a full service consultancy established in the late 90s with a focus on assisting independent retail through in-store redesign, web design, utilization of digital social media tools such as survey tools. Barb's been engaged in the provision of services for some of our Main Street retail clients over this past year as they've responded to the COVID pandemic, and we're excited to have her join us today and share some of her insights through this webinar. Just a quick reminder before we do get going that stick around to the end of this webinar, and for the first time ever, we're going to spin the Community Futures Middlesex wheel for an opportunity to win a free 30-minute one-on-one consult with Barb. And we'll be looking for some facial expressions at that point in the webinar to capture on and just like the Price is Right. So we look forward to that. So thank you, Barb, and thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to hearing some tips and tricks.
Todd, I want to thank you, Cindy, and Hayden for the invitation and coordination of this webinar. It's been fabulous to work with you. To all of you, each and every one of you, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with me today. And for your information, over the weekend, I have looked at each and every one of your websites. Those of you that have websites, the rest of you, I noticed they're either under construction or coming soon. So that was exciting. What it allowed me was, it gave me an idea of really sort of who you are online, what products and services you offer. And that gave me a strong connection with you here today. So let's get started. We have a lot to cover. Together, we have unlearned and relearned how to shop. There's no doubt about that, okay? What we need, wanted, or bought on impulse has changed. So how do we move forward? We must hear from our customers, because without that, we really can't make a confirmed and educated decision, okay? Our inventory counts are not strong enough anymore as reports to be read to get us to be looking at buying the right stuff. And if you are reviewing what you did in 2020, that is really those are difficult reports to look at. Typically, when I work with clients now, I ask, of course, I'd like to see 2020. I want to see what happened, but I really want to see 2019 and even 2018, do a deeper dive into information as it has to do with establishing what we're going to do moving forward. So, why are we all here today together? We want to gain an understanding of your customer through survey feedback. Now, let me show you what you need to consider before you set up a survey. First question I have for you here, why do a survey? Because surveys allow a business to effectively collect honest feedback, opinions, and responses from customers, and use that information to improve different areas of their business, your business. The survey also, the responses can confirm or provoke discussions on strategic business decisions and provide unbiased data to guide decision making. So typically, especially this year, 2021, I request my clients to start pretty early in our consultations, in our business one-to-one meetings with a survey, so we get to hear the voice of their clients. Also, moving through this, what do surveys, what do they really give us as a business? They give customers a voice. It's really important. You should have been doing this before, but it is never more important than it is now to hear what the customer has to say. Identify the areas for a better experience. We'll let you hear what matters to the customer. This is another big key, piece to the puzzle. You have to meet your customers where they are, not where you think they should be, right? So we meet them where they are now within this COVID, within survival of COVID, in the protocol of COVID, and we should know what matters to them. In these current times, your business, ladies and gentlemen, needs to be flexible and adaptable. And I promise you, with this information through survey, you will get that. You will start to even get a bigger feel for that. Surveys will help you show customers that you are on their side because you've cared to ask them. And it confirms that you care about your customer. So if I haven't sold you why you should do this, I certainly want to know why, because I think I've done a good job. We all have. I mean, this is an important topic. So we decided to bring it to you as the first topic in our 2-topic series. The reason I've put this here for you is that years ago, many, many years ago, I helped Constant Contact, for goodness sake, come into Canada as it crossed the border. There are so many automated marketing services and they all have survey templates, okay? So whether you use MailChimp, which a lot of my clients do, whether you use Constant Contact, or yesterday when I was working with a client in Alberta, they use Flowdesk. And many, many others. But these are the top, if you were to go to a Google search, these are the top ranking automated marketing services. Now, for those of you who maybe haven't made a decision as to which automated marketing service you want to use, then you've got to try one. At least perhaps maybe ask me that question, which one would I recommend? Each one of them have up to so many, I think 1,000, 1,500, most of them you can do sort of a sampler and it doesn't cost you any money to do it. But boy, oh boy, do they ever restrict the support they give you when it has to do with formulating your information and then accessing your analytics from the back, because you do want to access what's going on, okay? And then I'm going to keep my hands in prayer here. Sorry, I'm out of the light. Hands in prayer here, because I am hoping that you have a robust newsletter contact list. I am shocked at learning when I start with clients that they've been in business for 5-10 years and they have an extremely conservative customer list of 500. This is an absolute vital element in your business to know not only who your customer is by name, which I'm sure you do if you see them, but the big thing now is to how to contact them. So if you don't have that, you've got some work to do. You've got some work to do. Okay, let's look at the basic survey question types, okay? The first one I'm going to explore with you is very quick, explore the ultimate question. The next one is the customer satisfaction question. Oh, by the way, all of you know that you're going to get these notes, right? So you don't have to write down feverishly. All you have to do is perhaps maybe make a side note. Maybe there's a question that you have. Maybe there's a concern that you have. So ultimate question, customer satisfaction questions, I'm going to take you through. General satisfaction questions, demographic questions, product-related questions, really important at this time, service-related questions, and place, time, and location-related questions. Maybe not so important if you pull this survey together in the next few weeks, but you want to have an idea about how they felt, how your customers feel about all of this. Okay, so let's get at it. So I'm just moving that around. Okay. Here's the ultimate question. So you can now see this within a survey format on a scale of 0 to 10. How likely would you recommend our brand to your friends and people you know or known ones? Okay. So that's going to be one of the questions that you start to look at. It's going to be really good that you'll have this while you're putting the survey together. Next, 0 being not at all likely and 10 being most likely. So that's a great question to start your survey off. Obviously, the survey should be started off with a foundation comment. And if you want to use some of the screen comments that I made earlier in this particular webinar, please be my guest. Okay, so this, again, how I wrote this for you at this point was to help place in your mind what types of questions that you should ask under customer satisfaction questions. How satisfied were you with your experience with us? And you'll stop and think, well, is Barb talking about our their in-store experience or their online experience? So if you send this out while we are still in, strong lockdown, you have to decide what you are going to ask and if you're going to ask those things in a separate way. But we're very aware that there's these two experiences, okay? One of them is altered because of the COVID restrictions. Your online experience should be extremely robust and people should go, oh my God, I just love shopping your store online. So again, you're going to have 5 options typically, from poor to excellent, if that's the way. There's one thing that I should have said. On these various survey templates, you will get opportunity to either show your the people are taking the survey. They can start at 1 to 10, or they could. Some people like to use the heart method. 1 being I don't really like it, 1 heart, and I think there's one that says 5 hearts and it goes up. So the thing is, you're going to try to pick the format that you like and that you think is the easiest for your customers to use. That is going to be up to you. Here is what you might want to consider under general satisfaction questions. How would you rate the shopping experience? And again, you'll see now here I've put things in blue that obviously take some thinking, because if because of COVID and the restrictions and the lockdowns, the question here, experience you had today with us in the store, well, that's not applicable if you send out the survey in the next short while before the restrictions are lifted. But fingers crossed, you all have a very strong online presence and you can ask that question. How would you rate the behavior and support of our staff at our store? Well, that is not an option right now. So I've put it in blue. But what you could ask here is, how would you rate the behavior and support of our online chat staff? Because all of you, not all of you should, not all of you have installed that function that allows your customer, when they come onto your site, to chat with you in real time. Now, you may go, and I get a lot of pushback from my clients when, I've asked, because my husband is the web design support here at Retail Makeover IT, and I encourage my clients to work with him to get that function put onto their site, because it is an automatic way to keep your customer engaged with you. And yes, I know it's a hassle. And yes, you can shut it off. You don't have to have it on 24/7, okay? How do you rate the ambience and cleanliness of the store? The whole thing's in blue because it doesn't relate here, but I decided to put that in there in case you want to use this format later on when the store is open. How would you rate the return policy of our store? Of course, that's a problem, but do you have a return policy for your products on your website? And by the way, you should. On top of, I didn't see this consistently, seeing what the protocol for COVID for shopping with you was currently. And I did not see return policies. So those are the kinds of things that you want to make available to your clients as far as information, okay? Do you feel that our exchange policy, of course, at our store isn't applicable, but what we do have is that we do have return policies perhaps on your website, okay? So excuse me, I'm just going to change where this thing is. Okay. How do you rate our store online in terms of ease and quickness of shopping? This is a very bold question for you to ask your customers, because in several of your sites, I did try to go deep into and go right to the cash out, and it was challenging. The website wasn't smooth. There wasn't a smooth transition. And what we know as web designers, ladies and gentlemen, that if it takes, trust me, and we go too long, you're talking seconds. If there is a resistance, if there is a misunderstanding of the mouse and the arrow for the customer to go from point A to point B to point C to point D, guess what they do? They say goodbye. The patience there is so fractured. It's remarkable. So let's find out. Now, this question has everything to do with the age group. Now, what do you want to know? What age group your clients that you are sending this survey represent? You may know your top 20% of your clients that give 80% of your business. By the way, that's a big clue. 20% of your clients give you 80% of your business. Every time you see them, every time you speak to them, there should be big hugs because they are paying your bills. I hope you've seen them. I hope they're responding and shopping on your online store. So within this information here, and no one better in the administration group that asked me to join with you today here, would say to you that each of these age groups act differently because of how they've embraced technology, how they feel about shopping online versus shopping in a store. But I'm going to tell you something here that is quite remarkable. Because when I'm not coaching, when I'm not teaching, when I'm not writing, guess what I'm doing? I am researching and reading avorously. And because I've set my sights to coach globally, I have a lot of reading to do. And what I know 100% and for sure is that we have taught the pandemic, the situation has taught the baby boomers, which continue in most cases to represent the largest percentage of your business, and that isn't going away anytime soon. We've taught them how to shop online. It wasn't just within the last 5 years that they were petrified to give their, think about what's happened. They were petrified to give their credit card number because it was unsafe. Think about what's happened to the baby boomer. And they actually right now contribute, the statistics show that the baby boomer actually contributes to the largest percentage of online sales. It's unbelievable. So now that is what's going on in the world. That's what's going on in Canada. Let's see what's going on in your survey. Who's shopping you? How, what are their age groups? You'll also learn when you do, it's interesting, these ages, under 30, much more engaged with certain types of social media. Very interesting. Over 30, over 40, over 50, over 60, 70, 80, different. They're more into, they love Facebook. And the minute the baby boomer loved Facebook, guess who Facebook lost? And we're talking about as a large representative group. They lost everybody under 20, large groups of anybody under 20, under 30, because that age group doesn't want to be where their aunts and uncles and moms and dads are. That's just the most interesting of things. So let's just hope this all just keeps going the way it's going right now, because it's all very tentative, as you know. You ask a baby boomer what TikTok is, and they'll go, isn't that when you, like a metronome for piano? So think about it. So you also want to know the gender that you're speaking to and the gender that is giving you information, okay? And it is a good thing to know where this survey is going. Remember, this survey is going via email, via newsletter. So, you know, you very well may have clients outside of the shopping zone. Typically, when you're in the middle of a circle, the shopping zone of a normal geographic location is about 20 kilometers from you, which is then the center, and the edge of the circumference is 20 kilometers, okay? But things have shifted, so let's find out where your customer is, okay? Also, interestingly enough, I've given you a huge hint. Draw that circle, put yourself in the middle, then do the 20-kilometer radius. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I've told you? What the potential of your clients should be for your store. The potential. And how do you find that out? Well, guess what you do? The potential, you call up the economic development agencies, departments, specialists in your area. They're lonely people. They do all this work for you. And trust me, they're working hard, and nobody calls them. Nobody wants to hear what they have to say because they don't know what to do with that information. Okay? Make a call. Curate that information and see potentially what your customer base should be. And then please, dear God, that you actually know what your customer base is. And that is because you have reports. You know who your customer is. You know how many you have. You know how to contact them. You can hear the passion in my voice because I've been doing this now for over 25 years. I've grown into this role because it's a very important role to really understand all the little bits and pieces that make businesses effective. I wish there was just one thing, because trust me, I would have already patented. So let's look at the oh, this is huge. Product related questions, okay? So the questioning goes like this within the survey. Are you able to find what you're looking for? Of course, not in the store. That's why it's highlighted in blue. Online. How easy did you find searching for what you wanted? You know, there's another one that I should have put here. The question just went on and on and on. How easy was it for you to find our website? Do you refer us to your family and friends? Ladies and gentlemen, please put that down there. This is not in this list. How satisfied are you with the information related to products on our website? Some people don't put any descriptor. Some people put a Bible. There is a happy medium. Of course, I should have highlighted that in blue too. I'm very sorry. So just, I will change that before that gets sent to you for permanent record. We're the store staff / online chat supportive enough to assist you to finding the items of your choice? That's an interesting question. Do you feel the items are fairly priced? Of course, not at the store, online. And how satisfied are you with the product variety? No, this is huge. How satisfied are you with the product variety available at our store? What type of product? Okay, here's this. These should have stars next to them. What type of products do you like the most? Obviously not at the store right now, but online. You want to know. This gets at the heart of the matter. Do you feel we should have more variety of products? Have you ever returned or exchanged a product? How satisfied are you with our returns? Again, you see that all in blue because of the situation we find ourselves. How would you rate the quality of our product? Have you faced any issues with any of our products so far? How relevant are our products in your lives? Another big, huge, important questions, the relevance of your product in their lives. And so there, ladies and gentlemen, you'd actually put the main categories that you sell, and you would ask on every one of them, how relevant is this product category in your life? Because there you start to see how your products are either being used or not used during this time. And because we don't see any big, huge relief from, I don't even see, and to be very honest with you, as a retail consultant, I do not see the end of this yet. And I tend to be a little bit on the less optimistic side. I mean, I do realize that, I'm asked sometimes to look into a crystal ball and be very positive about everything. But the value in me and what I do is to be a little bit apprehensive, a little bit on the, we've got to make sure we're going in the right direction because we can't see the end yet. Is your product relevant? What product is most relevant? What product is least relevant? And what product are you looking for us to carry more of? Okay. So we will continue. I'm going to have to let you read that through, and I'll show you. The last here is a service-related question. I'm going to let you do the homework on this one. And as we go down this list, let me point it out to you. Do you enjoy receiving our newsletters? That should be a yes or no. There's no sliding scale there. How often would you like to receive our newsletters? Oh my gosh, the conversation goes on forever and ever with my clients about, I don't feel comfortable sending things out more than once a month. Well, the reality, again, I've done the research, as many as twice a week, up to once a month, and everything in between. I have to gauge the resistance from my clients who I coach as to how they feel about this, because if they don't feel comfortable sending out a newsletter on a more regular basis, and I'm talking about once a week, I would prefer, I have to move to once a month and get them to line up. But the thing is, because I teach right now, the key marketing strategy is to have Facebook Live events, and you're going to hear about all of this next week, that it doesn't work if you don't have a weekly newsletter that showcases what you're going to talk about, that invites people that are in your customer group to the Facebook Live event. So you'll learn more about that. Okay, so in conclusion, what you want to do at the end of your survey is you want to say thank you. So dear customer, thank you so much for completing our survey. We know it has been challenging of late to visit our store in person, and that you continue to support us online. We're grateful for the time you've spent telling us about your experience. We value your feedback and will use it to help continue to improve our product mix and services. So you're going to read this on your own, because here I talk about the smart and affordable survey incentive ideas. Believe it or not, people will be more likely to give you something if there's something in return. So have a look through this. Of course, there's more ideas, but this will get you started. And understand that when you get to this and you're reading it, you've got a lot of homework, ladies and gentlemen. I never excuse myself for the homework that I leave my clients with. You've got to get these surveys out through newsletters, on your website, through mobile-friendly surveys, through social media, through your answering machine, through your blogs, through your in-store, through anything else that you can possibly imagine. And my final thought, you need a minimum of 20 questions as a general guideline for your survey. You need to send out business to customer surveys during the week, either 6 to 9, more in the evening, because you'll find they're more readily open, and on the weekends, more in the afternoon, 3 to 6. And stats say that I follow that on Sundays, people like to do this in the evening. It's a higher completion rate, but here's the clincher. You can expect to see almost half of all of your responded activities within the first 3 days, half. So after 3 days, you're going, okay, so I guess the test is over. That is the response I got. If you're using social media, the bulk of the responses will come within even a shorter period of time, 24 hours. So the question that I hear some of you say, can I resend a survey if I haven't got a good sampling? The idea is yes. And perhaps maybe you weren't clear as to what the carrot was. You weren't clear as to how important their input was. Do you get it? Okay, there I am. And I want to thank you very much. I look forward to answering your questions, and Todd, please take it over.
Thanks, Barb. And there has been a few questions roll in, and I think we just sort of held off. I didn't want to interrupt because I knew you had a really content-rich presentation, and you had a certain amount of information that you wanted to get through. So,
thank you.
If we go back here, I could welcome anyone if they wanted to raise their question yourself. But I think the one first question was from Jean Coles, and Jean's, if you want to talk to it, but she's asking about for businesses that have been shut down. Obviously, there's some businesses that have been really impacted by the pandemic. Is it best to do a survey while you're shut down, or wait until you're allowed to reopen?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. I'm just going to ask, is it possible that she could share, or perhaps maybe I should look at it a different way. If you have a robust customer list, meaning, it's in the thousands. Again, it all depends on how active you were and how important you put that as an ask point. I would do, because remember, we have to feel the pain now, because we don't know when we're going to be shut down again. And we have to be the retailer, the service provider for customers during COVID lockdown. So I would send out a mini survey that has to do with during the lockdowns, how relevant, I'm just generalizing, how relevant are my products? And what types of products are you more likely to need and less likely to need. So what's the obvious thing here? If this lovely person runs a clothing shop, they're less likely to need formal wear or cruise wear. You sort of see where I'm going? But it's interesting because of what I'm going to teach you next week through Facebook Live events. You have a direct line to making customers aware of what you have, hearing what they need, and showing them how this fits into their life now. So it's a very interesting paradox that will happen next week. So I hope I've answered your question. It's a big ask.
Yeah, Jean, I don't know if you have anything further. I think knowing Jean's business is in the, she runs haircut places, right? So she's got multiple franchisees, right? And so they've been shut down.
Oh my gosh, boy, have I ever seen a lot of interesting and creative ways that hairdressers get in front of their clients.
Yeah. So next question here, it was related to the tools that you were mentioning. Do you have any general views on the use of SurveyMonkey as a tool?
Oh yes, absolutely. Sorry. Yeah, it's just when I was doing my research, I should have put a nod to that. I should have put in. But you know what? Can I go back to the first question, please? One of the biggest things, and this speaks right to this question. This speaks right to your specialization. You have to continue being relevant in your customers' lives. You should be doing live videos or at least pictures with comments and sending them to your clients and going, I know I can't see you yet, but this is the way to take care of the coloring that you used to get with me. You can't cut your bangs. Well, let me show you how you can do it. I am telling you, your customers will hug you the first time they see you. Staying relevant in their lives.
Very good. So I think you answered the second question about the typically number of questions that should be asked in an online survey. You mentioned that in your call. I'll just scan down here. When's the best time to provide a survey link or ask a client to fill one out? Immediately, a week later, etc., after a sale or service?
Okay, so now they've become a new client, right? That they've given you their email, maybe for the first time. You've got it online. You're communicating with them. Well, here's the thing, and I didn't see that on all of your websites. You should automatically, when I go on your website, ask me for my contact information and tell me why it's a good idea. So there's no mistaking there. And then if you look at the list where your survey should be posted, your survey should be posted online. Your survey should be posted on your website with the carrot dangling. We want to hear from you, and we thank you by giving you a coupon code to go shopping, $5-10 against this sale right now that you're going to make, this purchase you're going to make right now. Or we're going to put you in a big draw, and we draw for $100 at the end of the month.
Barb is going to join us again in another 2 weeks, and we're looking forward to that, where the focus, I think she mentioned in her presentation, is going to be on the use of Facebook Live or video component, right, which is becoming even much more critical, I think, for retailers to engage in. So definitely appreciate your time today, Barb, and thank you for sharing your insights and your expertise with us. And we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks.
Great. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining me.